Don't you think I'm a savior? Don't you think I could save you? Don't you think I could bore you to death with this 10th chorus? Well, hello my friends, we meet again. It has been a while. Where should we begin? We are looking at Iron Maiden's 11th album today, and that would be the cleverly titled Virtual 11. That infamously bad album of Iron Maiden's, or is it that bad? We will find out here today on another episode of me reviewing and dissecting weird albums that I find interesting for whatever reason. Now, this video here is a follow-up to the one I did on Iron Maiden's previous effort, The X Factor, the first with Blaze Bayley at the helm. So be sure to check out that video after this one is done. And now, honestly, for that video, I didn't find The X Factor to be all that bad. Certainly not even close enough to being as horrible as some people would make out. But it seems that Virtual 11 has an even worse reputation. And once again, we find ourselves in the late 90s, a time period where metal, and especially, established 70s and 80s metal bands were having a hard time finding themselves in this new landscape. So 1995's X Factor was not all that well received. So how would the band respond? Let's find out today. But before I do that, I just gotta hit that quick begment real quick. If you like this type of content, make sure you hit that like button. And if you really like it, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Really helps out your boy here. Cheers. Now, let's find out if this really is the worst Iron Maiden album. All right, okay, so right off the bat here, there's just some really strange tie-ins and happenings with this album. First of all, the band's logo was changed. For what reason, I don't really know, but the logo they used forever was slightly changed, and it wouldn't change back until later. Now, this was also tied in with Iron Maiden's upcoming video game, Ed Hunter, which would be released the following year in 1998. Let me know if you guys would enjoy a video on that as well. And thirdly, it was tied in with the 1998 World Cup. Now, I'm not sure about you guys, but to me, it does not bode well when a band feels the need to tie in their music with so many extra things, all this extra shit. It doesn't really speak highly of any confidence in the music itself, right? Steve Harris would actually give a quote about all this. Quote, "We figure our fans are pretty much the same as we are, with pretty much the same interests. So we thought, it's World Cup, year 98, let's get the football involved in the new album." And we were already working on a computer game at that time, so we thought, well, let's bring that element into this too. End quote. Yeah, I mean, okay, it just seems like some strange logic to me, like a shrug of the shoulders, like, well, let's just all throw it in here, I guess. Was there not previous World Cups? Why wouldn't they have tied those in? And I don't know, it just seems really strange to me. It seems like they were just trying anything at this point. Anyways. Regardless, though, I will say the fact that the album cover does go pretty hard. Much better album cover compared to the X Factor, and honestly, one of Iron Maiden's best. I really do like this cover. All right, let's get a sippy sip. Some love from the doctor. And so having a better album cover would not be the only lesson that Iron Maiden took from the X Factor. This time, they start off the album with an absolute heater with the excellent Futureal. Now on the X Factor, one of the things which bugged me is just how meek and low energy the introduction to the first song is, Sign of the Cross. And while this would be totally fine normally on the album that you're introducing a new vocalist, right? The guy replacing the much beloved Bruce Dickinson, no less. It just felt like such a sad, wet fart, like such a letdown. This is the way it should have started, right? The X Factor, and introduced Blaze with power and with vigor. And right from the moment you press play on the song, you get just right into the riffs and driving bass. Oh, so typical of Iron Maiden that we love, right? That ever so sweet Iron Maiden minor 1, flat 6, flat 7 chord progression, which I made a whole video about if you guys want to check that out as well. The riffage here kind of reminds me of The Trooper with those fast little trill guitar notes. This is the energy that we all want. This is how the X Factor should have started. Blaze sounds equally as powerful and full of life as the rest of the band does here, and I find his chorus vocals on the song to be especially memorable and powerful. Do you believe what you hear? Can you believe what you see? Do you believe what you feel? Can you believe? Nearing the top of his range and still delivering the memorable chorus lyrics with full gusto. Absolutely great stuff. And lyrically, this song is about, well, virtual reality, future real. Not every song needs to be Shakespeare. I mean, especially if the riffs be riffing, lyrics can kind of come second fiddle, really. What is real? Future real? What is real? Nice little solo section on the song here as well. Plenty to enjoy here. And I like the little bit of personality Bruce shows, a little hey right at the beginning of this solo. Nice to see that. Steve Harris's bass playing on this track is also really exceptional, especially in the chorus. Amazing song here, honestly. Probably one of the best Iron Maiden songs of the 90s, maybe even all eras, honestly. Great opening banger track, just under 3 minutes long, full of vivacity and momentum. Fantastic start to the album, 10 out of 10. Now all that energy and momentum must have just been spent on Futureal. As the follow-up song here, the second song, is maybe one of the worst of Iron Maiden's career. I actually don't think there is a worse Iron Maiden song. This song, The Angel and the Gambler, commits the worst song a bad song can commit, and that is to be boring. So I call it the Room-Lulu dichotomy. Something can be so bad, but still be entertaining due to how terrible it is, like The Room.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Or it can be boring because of how terrible it is, like the album Lulu. It's a fine line between the both, and what makes one the other, I can't really tell you. All I know is that you know when you know. And Angel and the Gambler is certainly Lulu tier boring. Roll up the dice, take a spin of the wheel. I love your hands out, so how do you feel? First of all, this Iron Maiden song is in the key of A Mixolydian. Now don't turn off the video, I'm not gonna go crazy music theory nerd, but Mixolydian is a mode of the major scale, rather than the typical minor scale sound, which 98% of all Iron Maiden songs, and metal in general, honestly use. So, okay, we're gonna get into some music theory really quick, just to explain why the Angel and the Gambler just feels just so cheesy, you know, as well as being long and boring. So Iron Maiden usually plays in the minor scale. A minor, one of the ones they usually play. So that sounds like this. You know, sounds very cool, mysterious, very dark. Now the major scale sounds like this. Okay, you know, sounds happy, major scale. Whereas Mixolydian essentially take the 7th note on the major scale and just flatten it. So when you play the major scale with that flattened 7th, you get, which is very like traditional bluesy kind of rock, and that's why the song sort of feels to me like a Bruce Springsteen song in a way. It's because of that Mixolydian feel, that flat 7 chord. Yeah, interesting. That's why it kind of sounds so weird. So we'll put away the guitar now, back to the felting of the music. What Mixolydian really means to you music theory normies is that it makes it sound very upbeat and happy, right? Which is just an odd choice, especially with those strange like, it just sounds so incredibly generic and cheesy. Like, honestly, it sounds like the backing track at karaoke to some like obscure song someone's drunk aunt is singing here. Like, bro, listen to this. Like, what is this? This song is more boring than having math class right before lunch. This song is more boring than a doctor's waiting room before smartphones. This song is more boring than having to wait on hold to pay a bill. I actually just have no clue what they were thinking here, and I've not even gotten to the worst part. Like, we're still in the intro. I find the organ on this song, that it features so prominently here, just to be especially terrible. The verses just aren't great either. The whole song just feels like it's played 10 BPM too slow or something. The whole band, and especially the drumming on this, just feels so lifeless and lacking any sort of energy. Completely different from Futureal. And normally Blaze, who I find can carry a lot of these boring songs here, he can't even salvage it. His vocal melodies just feel so upbeat, cheesy and generic and poppy, and normally I like pop music too, but you know, all could be forgiven if the song has a great chorus, and well, don't you think I'm a savior? Don't you think I could save you? The chorus is just plain bad. Steve Harris really must have thought he was the smartest guy in the room when he wrote this. Quote, "Don't you think I'm a savior? Don't you think I could save you? Don't you think I could save your life?" End quote. Savior, save your, ever so clever, Steve. The chorus just isn't good. It's not very catchy, nor does it increase the energy of the song at all. In fact, it kind of feels like it lowers the energy. Oh, and did I mention that this song is 10 minutes minutes long! Yes, this song is infamously bad, often referred to as Angel and the Never-Ending Chorus, and it's just honestly, I have no clue what they were thinking here. Like, my only reasoning is that they must have just been drunk in the studio. I'm like, yeah, yeah.
What were they thinking?
The chorus repeats so many times, it is actually unbelievable.
Don't you think I'm a savior? Don't you think I could save you?
When I was going back and listening to this album, I actually counted how many times they repeated the chorus. And I'll be honest with you guys, the song was so mind-destroyingly boring, I zoned out. So I'm actually not sure if the song repeats the chorus 20, 21, or 22 times. Either way, I'm not gonna go count it again. 20 plus repeats of anything would be terrible. They could repeat the chorus of Power Slave 20 times, and it also would have gotten old real fast. Like, what were they thinking? It's actually just really hard to comprehend the decision-making process here that 10 plus adults who worked on this album musically would have let this happen. That includes putting it second on the album, right after Futureal. What were they thinking? Just destroys the momentum and flow of the album. Holy shit, 0 out of 10.
I like this new generation of music.
Let's make decisions before it's too late. Take all the chances.
Mother of God, it's all toilet sounds.
All right, okay. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I've composed myself. Insane whiplash in quality here so far. From one of their best songs to easily their worst. Luckily though, they bring it back from the brink with Lightning Strikes Twice.
I feel the breeze on my face in expectance.
Love the intro to the song. Really sets a great atmosphere. I love this 3/4 feel. And finally, we are back to the minor key. To me, this song is really similar to some of the bangers which we would hear on Brave New World or Dance of Death. It kind of just has that feel to it. You know what I mean?
Is it the rolling of thunder that scares you?
Thank you, Dave Murray. Cool rhythms with those chord stabs in the verse. And I really like, again, the swaying 3/4 time of the first half of the song. A nice change. Something you don't hear all that often from Iron Maiden is that 3/4 sway, right? Blaze sounds great here. Once again, his singing over top of the 3/4 time signature is just so fantastic. It just feels so swaying and effervescent, like floating on the breeze, which sort of ties into the lyrics of the song. And I always enjoy stuff like that.
It takes me back to my childhood again.
This song is honestly just great, and the more I listen to it, the more I actually like it. I love that drop out into the intro after the first verse, really heavy there. Man, the chorus is just absolutely cash money.
Maybe lightning strikes twice. Maybe lightning strikes twice.
Maybe lightning strikes twice. So good, man, so good. Really love the unison guitar and Blaze Bayley singing with it on the chorus. Very earwormy. And the band switches to 4/4 standard time here as well. And yes, I did notice that every time Blaze sings Lightning Strikes Twice, drummer Nico hits the snare and crash twice. Maybe lightning strikes twice.
Lightning strikes twice. Maybe lightning strikes twice. Maybe lightning.
Which, you know, is cool. It emphasizes the strikes twice, but also kind of works musically, like symbolically, like a lightning crashing twice. Cool stuff, love that. Lyrically, an excellent song here as well. Very beautiful lyrics, talking about the feeling of an oncoming storm and how the wind starts to blow, trees rustle, and the animals grow quiet and seek shelter. Yet the narrator hopes that lightning will strike twice, and lightning striking twice is a metaphor used to describe something that has very little chance of happening again, right? To me, this is like the band singing about hoping to get a second shot, that lightning will strike their career twice, once again, and be back on top. Love these double meanings that they often do here. Great song. 9 out of 10. Now up next we have the Clansman, which going just based off of YouTube Music stats is by far and away the most popular song on this album, and one of the only songs to get live play from this record besides Futureal. Now, right off the bat, it does sound like an X Factor song with those longer, sort of drawn out, slower intros. But here, with this being like the only song to kind of do it so far, I don't really mind it nearly as much as I did on the X Factor. One thing I love about this is how that little guitar leads play some of the vocal melodies that will be sung later on. Love that shit. Nice touch.
With a need to belong, I am a clan.
This song is very memorable with some very strong moments. And of course, this song has the absolutely glorious moment right after the intro where it explodes with this amazing chorus of freedom. I just imagine Mel Gibson with the face paint, you know, from Braveheart screaming this out. The other really memorable moment for me on the song is the pre-chorus. You know, I am the Clansman. These two moments in the song are just so unbelievably based, just so glorious. Excellent stuff. I find this song really suits Blaze's baritone voice here as well, as he can really just lean into that masculine power which his voice exudes. And yeah, I just find this song works extremely well. There's a reason why this is like the most played song of this album. Everything just kind of flows and works together so nicely. I will say though, maybe the song is about 2 minutes too long. Probably could have cut some sections, and I don't really find much of the bridge and solo section all that memorable, but I mean, these are quite minor complaints in the grand scheme of things, and the song is very enjoyable overall. The lyrics tell of the Scottish struggle for independence, which I think is actually a vastly underrepresented lyrical topic in metal. Of course, the song is inspired by Braveheart, but I think the song continues the trend from the X Factor of Steve Harris using historical topics as double meanings, right? Double metaphors, of course, describing the event itself, but acting as a metaphor for something relating to him personally, right? Steve Harris would say this song is, quote, about what it's like to belong to a community that you try and build up, and then you have to fight to stop it having it taken away from you, end quote. Which kind of sounds similar to what was happening here with the band in the late 90s again. Similar to Lightning Strikes Twice. Great song, 8 out of 10 with some points taken off for the length. All right, halfway done now, and I gotta say I appreciate the brevity of this album. Despite a few long songs, it's only 8 minutes long and about 20 minutes shorter than the X Factor, which makes that album really seem just bloated in comparison. When Two Worlds Collide opens up side 2, and right off the bat, I feel like I hear the opening guitar part to Eye of the Tiger. Here, listen. Like it's subtle, but I can just hear it every single time. The song opens up, you know, rather slow again. Blaze Bayley's voice seems really unproduced here, like his volume is all over the place. That's sort of like the job of a mixing engineer, to correct it and have it be level the whole time, so I'm not really sure what happened here. This is one of those songs where Blaze, you know, despite his volume issues, really carries an otherwise pretty mid song, I find. I really like his vocal cadence and melody in the verse. Really nice contour to that melody, just up and down. Good stuff there. Chorus is pretty decent here as well, but I really like the post-chorus guitar harmony section. Really cool, and here we have the keys taking another prominent role in the song, similar to how they were used on Seventh Son here, which is really cool. We haven't gotten much of that since. But the main solo section is so incredibly generic and passé. Must have heard this hundreds of times. I don't know. And last part I do like after the song, as it repeats in like Ace's High fashion, is the post-chorus guitar harmony that they played before is now accompanied by a nice, oh, you know, that type of chant. Great stuff, I really enjoy that. Loves hearing melodies repurposed in different ways. Lyrically, this song is pretty lazy, I must say. There are like 2 verses of lyrics, and then the rest of the song just repeats chorus and pre-chorus lyrics. It's not lazy in the same way that Angel and the Gambler is, or annoying, but it's just kind of head-scratching. Like, we couldn't have come up with a B version of the chorus with some different lines? Anything, man, anything. I don't know. I enjoy some parts, but this song should have been like a 4-minute long song, max. Not nearly enough ideas here to warrant 6+ minutes. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Next up here, we have The Educated Fool, which seems to me to have absorbed most of the lyrical energy that was lacking on the previous song, as we get a lot of lyrics here. We get another guitar lead which preludes a vocal melody. I always love that shit. Use that, steal that, love it. This song feels very X Factor again, and just, you know, it's just a little bit too slow, a little too low energy in instrumentation, especially in the drumming in some parts.
Never felt this way before. Seems that somebody's just opened the door to the...
And drumming, again, just very low energy. Blaze must carry most of the song, and he does. He does the majority of this as well. Chorus here is actually really quite good. And if you remember what I said on the X Factor, how I was complaining that there was like no vocal harmonies at all, well, we finally have vocal harmonies. Kind of weirdly mixed and kind of sound very separate, but it's incredibly refreshing to see the vocals carry like the chordal information over top of the bass and guitar, so just playing normal power chords. I honestly just don't understand the decision to forego vocal harmonies on the majority of these songs, as they really make choruses, you know, can Blaze not sing them? Like, I don't know, man, it's just weird. We get another very typical Iron Maiden bridge with a much too long solo section. Did this song really need a double dueling guitar solo? Back to the same guitar ditty right after? I mean, come on. That being said, I really do quite enjoy this chorus, really carries the song. And lyrically, the song is probably one of the strongest of all the Blaze songs here. Another sort of Steve Harris diary entry, but he often does these very well. I enjoyed those on the X Factor, and I like this one too. The first verse really spells it out well. Quote, "I'm an educated fool, so I don't know what I'm supposed to do about this awkward situation that's been forced down right upon me. As I'm walking down on my own into the valley of life, got a lifetime of experience. Yeah, I've got so much to give. Open the page on chapter 1. Could this be just that life's just begun? Forever within your darker thoughts, reflecting on everything you've been taught." End quote. Yeah, absolutely, I've been there too, Steve. Absolutely. Preach. Preach! I'll give The Educated Fool a 7 out of 10, mostly carried by the chorus and the lyrics. Don't Look to the Eyes of a Stranger comes up next, and right off the bat, it sounds like a Brave New World song. On the first re-listen of the album, when I had to listen to this album for like 10 years, I actually thought that the album had like shuffled to a different Iron Maiden song off a different album. You know, cool stuff. It sounds out of place, but in a good way. And I actually really enjoy the synth work in the intro here again. And is that another guitar playing a future vocal melody? You guys know I love that. The song begins to evolve and grow with the synths playing like a real prominent main focal point sound. Again, very Brave New World sounding here. Which, you know, I love that album, so hell yeah. I will say that once the tempo picks up, the guitar work is pretty, you know, kind of generic sounding, but once again, it's carried more by Blaze. I think one of the things that I've really came to appreciate looking back on these albums now after a long time is Blaze really gave it socks, and he really did a great job, and he does sound great, and he is a really great singer and carries a lot of these songs, which otherwise are kind of weak. You know, I'm not saying that Bruce wouldn't sing them just as good. I'm just saying Blaze did a fantastic job on these songs. Another really cool touch of the song that I like is when they move back to the intro at 2:30. It's like way faster in tempo, and then they crash that tempo downwards into the section right before the bridge, right? Just really slows it down. Very cool sounding.
When the night goes down.
Which we then get a nice slow burn into the climax of the song. And I find this slow burn really enjoyable. Builds anticipation really nice until the song explodes into like this like double time jig almost. I lack the musical vocabulary to describe this section. Let me know what you guys think it sounds like. Really unique and like old sounding. Sounds like what someone would dance to in like the late 1880s or something like that. Absolutely fantastic stuff here. Just love this section. It feels like a template for Dance of Death later on. I love the way the bridge transitions into a solo there too. Love that. Then they go back to the chorus one last time, which begins to get a little old, honestly, and this is just like an all right chorus. No need for so many repeats. The song is really carried by that double time guitar dance. Lyrically, another pretty lazy and sparse song. Yes, we all know strangers are dangerous. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. The bridge really makes this. Now, wrapping up the album, we have Como Estais, Amigos. Don't speak Spanish, sorry. Which initially I was surprised that this song has not been played live. You know, it seems like it would be a slam dunk for the Spanish-speaking countries of the world. until I looked into the lyrics and realized it was about the Falklands War. You know, cool topic, but I think that may be a sore spot down there in South America. I know for sure in Argentina, but for all my other South American bros who watch this, let me know if this song is like a big deal or that war is a big deal for you guys. Like, I have no idea up here in Canada.
Amigos, no more tears.
Now, I know this is all like headcanon, but this song really feels like a goodbye ballad written for Blaze. You know, I know it's about the Falklands War, very sorrowful and bittersweet about that conflict, but it almost sounds like Blaze is singing his farewell here in the chorus. I don't know, anybody else get this?
No more tears.
And I actually really enjoy this song. Again, this sounds like a Brave New World song, which makes sense because some of those Brave New World songs are written during these sessions. You know, enjoyable chorus, and maybe most importantly of all for this is that the bridge and solo sections here are unique and interesting. I love to sing along to this song, and I especially love that harmonized guitar part here. It sounds victorious, and not in like the gloating, conquering way, but rather in like a remorseful, you know, remorseful victory. We had to do it, I guess. I don't know. Lyrically, the song fits. Lyrics are done pretty well. Honestly, pretty great song here. Blaze's Farewell. Lots to love. 8 out of 10. So now to wrap this up, guys, I actually think this is a better album overall than the X Factor. You know, it had been many, many years since I listened to both of these albums, and I was legitimately surprised how much I liked both of these and most of these songs. You know, first of all, it's just a less bloated mess. The production is better than the X Factor, and we actually have several quality bangers and not like the endless sea of mid-slop that plagued the X Factor. And of course, we have Futureal, like easily a top 15 Iron Maiden song for me. Absolute banger. Lightning Strikes Twice, again, that's another one too. I really think this album gets its bad reputation from one song. You get such a ripper, right? Futureal, only to be slammed right into a concrete wall and have all fun, enjoyment, and momentum just blown right out of the album with Angel and the Gambler. And when it comes second, like, what was the point? It totally ruins and derails the entire album. I can imagine a lot of people, you know, simply just turning off the album and deciding it was trash or being put into a foul mood just because of this song. Right, number 2, right? I legitimately think this is their worst song by a large margin. I think it drastically brings down everyone's overall perception of this album, because the rest of the album's honestly average to pretty good. You know what I mean? But Angel and the Gambler is just so bad. I actually would probably rather listen to Virtual 11 than some of the later Iron Maiden albums. Those are just so incredibly bloated. This one, if you minus Angel and the Gambler, just skip it. It's actually a very, very enjoyable listen. So yeah, there you go, guys. Virtual 11 isn't the worst Iron Maiden album, not by a long shot. Very, very enjoyable. If you have any other albums or weird albums, bad albums that you guys would like me to check out, make sure you leave that down in the comments. As always, I've been Varvis. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Let the metal flow.